So if you're a homeowner and you're thinking about moving, you've probably run into this huge, paralyzing question. It's kind of like that classic chicken or the egg problem, right? But with your biggest asset on the line. So what do? Do you sell your current place before you even start looking for the next one? Or do you find that perfect dream home, lock it down, and then figure out selling your old one? Each way has its own big pros and cons. Look, there's no simple one-size-fits-all answer here. The right choice for you really comes down to your personal situation. We're talking about your finances, your timeline, and honestly, just how much uncertainty you can handle. So let's dive in and break down the two main ways you can go about this. All right, let's talk about path number one. This is the one all about financial safety. Basically, it's selling your current home before you even start seriously shopping for what's next. So with this strategy, you do the whole shebang first. You list your home, you market it, you go through the whole closing process. It's only when that money is actually in your bank account that you switch hats and become a buyer.
Now, this path has a really clear trade-off. The huge pro, financial certainty. You know exactly how much cash you have to play with. That makes you a super strong buyer, no strings attached. But the big con? Oh yeah, you might have to move twice. Once into some kind of temporary place, and then again into your new home. That can be a major hassle.
So what's the timeline look like for this? Well, you're typically looking at a 3 to 6 month journey. You've got to prep the house, get it on the market, go under contract, and then close. It's pretty straightforward, a very linear path, and it takes a ton of the financial guesswork out of the equation.
Okay, so that was selling first. Now, let's flip the coin and look at the other strategy, buying your new home first. This one, well, it completely flips the script. You go out, you find the house you love, you put in an offer, and you actually close on it, all while you still own your current place. Which means, yep, for a little while, you're going to own two houses.
The upside here is huge, I'm not gonna lie. It's all about convenience. Logistically, it's so much simpler. You only have to move one time, straight from your old house to your new one, totally on your schedule. But the downside is just as massive. You are carrying the costs for two homes at the same time.
And let's be really clear about what that risk looks like. We're not just talking about two mortgage payments. Nope. It's double the property taxes, double the insurance, double the utility bills, double the maintenance. You get the picture. If your old house doesn't sell fast, those costs can pile up and become a massive financial strain. For real.
Okay, so those are the two main roads you can take, right? Each with its own set of dangers and rewards. But it's not always so black and white. Thankfully, there are some tools and little contract tricks that can help you navigate these, let's call them choppy waters.
Probably the most common tool you'll hear about is something called a home sale contingency. Think of it like an escape hatch you write into your offer. It basically says, hey, I'd love to buy your house if and when I can sell my own. Now here's the catch. In a hot market, that can make your offer look a lot weaker. A lot of sellers are just going to pass you over for someone who's a sure thing.
And what if you want to buy first, but you don't have the cash for a down payment sitting around? Well, a bridge loan could be an option. It's a short-term loan that, you guessed it, bridges that financial gap. It lets you borrow against the equity in your current home. Just be aware they usually have higher interest rates, and you've got to pay it back the second your first home sells.
Another tool that's kind of similar is a home equity line of credit. You probably heard it called a HELOC. It's a little more flexible than a bridge loan because you only take out what you actually need. But, and this is a big but, remember that HELOC payment gets added to your monthly debt, and that could make it tougher to actually qualify for the mortgage on that new home. So, even if you have the perfect plan, you've got the financing tools all lined up, real estate deals can be super fragile. It's so important to know what can come out of nowhere and just knock the whole thing off the rails. Okay, let's talk about the big three deal killers. First, a low appraisal. That can absolutely blow up a deal. Second, your buyer's financing gets denied. I'm talking last minute, even if they were pre-approved. It happens. And third, the inspection turns up a huge issue, which leads to arguments that can just sink the whole transaction. And beyond those big scary deal killers, you've got a budget for all the little costs that people always seem to forget. Things like HOA transfer fees, deposits for new utilities, the cost of moving and maybe storage, even higher insurance premiums. Trust me, this stuff can add up to thousands of dollars really fast.
So we've covered a lot, right? The two main strategies, the tools you can use, the risks involved. So how in the world do you actually make a choice? How do you figure out which path is the safest one for you?
Well, the expert from our source material, who's a specialist in this exact area, has some pretty clear advice. She says that for most homeowners, especially those 55 and older who might be downsizing, selling first is just the safer way to go. That financial security it gives you, it's usually worth the potential hassle.
So think of this as your cheat sheet. It really all comes down to one simple question. What is most important to you? If your number one priority is financial safety, peace of mind, then you sell first, and you just accept that it might be a little inconvenient. But if convenience and being in control is what you care about most, you can buy first. You just have to be totally ready and able to take on some pretty significant financial risk.
At the end of the day, there isn't one right answer for everybody. There's only the right answer for you. So you really have to take a hard look at your savings, stress test your budget, and be super honest with yourself about how much uncertainty you can actually handle. So which one of these paths really fits your financial reality right now?